but I want your like and your subscription.
In the shadowed hamlet of Eldridge Hollow, where the ancient oaks whispered secrets to the wind, and the moon hung low like a watchful eye, there lived a man named Elias Thorne. He was a reclusive scholar, much like those tormented souls who dwell in the annals of forgotten lore, his days consumed by dusty tomes, and his nights by the flickering light of a solitary candle. The villagers spoke of him in hushed tones, for it was said that Elias had inherited not only the crumbling manor of his forebears, but also their curse, a madness that bloomed under the black moon's gaze. One autumn eve, as the leaves turned the color of dried blood, Elias received an unexpected visitor. It was Miss Lydia Hargrove, a distant cousin whom he had not seen since childhood. She arrived unannounced, her carriage rattling over the fog-shrouded bridge like the bones of the damned. Lydia was a woman of refined elegance, her eyes sharp as a detective's intuition, her lips curved in a smile that hid more than it revealed. "Dear Elias," she said, stepping into the manor's dim hall, "I have come to unravel a mystery that plagues our family line. The whispers, they call to me in the night." Elias, ever the gracious host despite his seclusion, led her to the drawing room. The air was thick with the scent of mildew and decay, and above the mantel hung an antique mirror, its frame carved with grotesque figures that seemed to writhe in the firelight. "What whispers do you speak of?" he inquired, his voice a tremor, for he too had heard them, soft, insidious murmurs that slithered from the darkness when the moon waned to nothingness. Lydia recounted her tale with the precision of a storyteller weaving a web. For weeks she had been tormented by visions, a shadowy figure in her dreams, its face obscured, whispering promises of eternal rest. Objects in her home moved of their own accord, a locket vanishing from her dresser, only to reappear stained with what appeared to be blood. And always the black moon loomed in her nightmares, its absence a void that swallowed light. It began after I inherited grandmother's diary, pages filled with riddles of poison and betrayal, hinting at a murder long concealed. As the night deepened, Elias felt a chill grip his heart. He knew the diary well. It had been in his possession until a thief, perhaps a servant, had spirited it away years prior. Could Lydia be the culprit, or was there something more sinister at play? They pored over the journal together, its brittle pages revealing cryptic entries. The toxin lies in the chalice of trust, and the reflection betrays the soul. Outside, the wind howled like a chorus of lost spirits, and the black moon cast no shadow, enveloping the world in utter obscurity. It was then that the whispers began in earnest, faint at first, like the rustle of silk in an empty room. They grew into coherent pleas. "Join us, the mirror awaits." Elias glanced at the antique mirror, and for a moment he swore he saw not his own reflection, but that of his long-dead father, his eyes hollow pits of accusation. Lydia gasped, her hand clutching her throat. "Poison," she whispered. "I feel it coursing through me, like the tales in the diary." Panic seized Elias. He rushed to fetch an antidote from his study. But upon returning, he found Lydia slumped before the mirror, her skin pale as marble, a vial of arsenic clutched in her rigid fingers. Suicide or murder? The
The whispers swelled to a cacophony, mocking him. In his frenzy, he smashed the mirror, shards flying like daggers. But as the glass fractured, he beheld the truth. Embedded in the frame's hidden compartment was a mechanism, a clever contraption of pipes and bellows, designed to emit gaseous whispers laced with a slow-acting toxin. The diary's riddles unraveled in his mind. It was no curse, but a plot of human devising. Lydia had not come to seek answers, she had come to claim the manor, poisoning herself in a feigned suicide to frame Elias, knowing his fragile mind would shatter under suspicion. But in her arrogance, she had miscalculated the dose, or had she? As villagers arrived, drawn by the crash, they found Elias babbling incoherently, the vial in his hand now, transferred in the chaos. But the true horror lay deeper, for in the dead of that black moon night, as Elias was led away in chains, he heard the whispers once more, not from the broken mirror, but from within his own skull. Lydia's eyes, in her final gaze, had held a glint of triumph, but also terror. Was she the architect, or merely another pawn? The black moon knew, but it whispered no more, save to those who dared listen in the hollows of madness. And so, dear listener, beware the reflections that stare back, for in the absence of light, the greatest mysteries are those we poison ourselves with.